I put on an exhibition last year in my flat here in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, called the Bachelor Pad Museum. It was something I'd wanted to do for a really long time because I actually make work that's about how the spaces we live in sort of shape the way that we live and the people that we're becoming. And I wanted to study how other houses had been made into museums, how other exhibitions had been put on in houses, and how I could use my own house and the way that I live to make my own contribution to that. For me, putting up the exhibition was quite a big process. I actually built some new platforms into the structure of the flat to house different parts of the work I was showing, which actually a lot of it looked a bit like models for similar platforms. Maybe it's worth thinking about what spaces you've always found interesting in your house. Like maybe there's a particular place you like to play, or a place you like to hide, or a place you like to go to think about things. And try and work out what it is about that place that's special for you. So, for example, I wanted people to feel very comfortable and at home. So I actually had people lie in my bed while they watched a video that I made. Another little trick of this, of course, was that once I'd set it up, I then had a little home cinema where I could watch films in bed. So maybe it's also worth thinking about whether you could use any of the things you do for your exhibition to be helpful or nice things for yourself in the long term. Because I think one of the things that art can do is change the way we think about the world we live in and make new possibilities. And sometimes they can be more possibilities in our imagination, but when you do something like this, they can also become real possibilities. One thing I think that's interesting about this is thinking about where the boundaries of your exhibition are, where it begins and where it ends. So when you go to a museum or an exhibition, you sometimes might pass by a welcome desk, go up a lift or a staircase, you might go through a cloakroom. Other things you might have experience would be things like signage outside a museum or a gift shop at the end. And it might be fun and enjoyable, and it might help you to think a bit more about how your exhibition interacts with a bigger world. If you wanted to think about, making a sign that went in the window or having a very small gift shop at the gate or in the hallway of where you live. So you might think about that kind of thing, but you might also just think about, which parts of the house are and aren't part of the exhibition. I actually decided that everything in the house was part of the exhibition. You could decide to, just have us looked in a particular window, say, stuff arranged on a windowsill that people can look in, or any way you wanted. You can choose any little bit to frame and decide that that's the exhibition space.